Hi, hello, and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as Ablossi Baba. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent by the temple to deliberate my findings for the Lunar Lounge. Okay, this is going to be the Eclipse edition. And again, thank you for your continued support. I want to welcome any returning subscribers, viewers. Hi, hello, welcome back. I want to welcome in any new subscribers. Hey, we're so pleased to have you. Thank you for the honor and the privilege to serve you. It is a true, genuine pleasure. Okay, we're aware you have other viewing options. Thank you for making us one of yours. There are several offerings coming out. There's a lot of expansion going on in the temple. I do want to say we're having a massive expansion, so get in where you fit in. There's going to be some content coming out. I do want to say it'll explain some things. It'll open up some things for you, clarify some things, if you would. Now, for brevity's sake, we're going to go ahead and talk about this cycle. I'm just going to brief the cycle really quickly and describe the offering. It'll take about a minute, excuse me. Just a little bit of housekeeping, okay? So this is a lunar eclipse, okay? And it's in Cancer, okay? So a lunar eclipse is when there's a full moon, and that'll be on the 10th of January. So, you know, back home in Wida, that'll be at 8:21 p.m. Okay, that's Central African time, Central European time. Okay, and basically that is 8:21 p.m. as I said for the West, but military time or 24-hour time, that's 2021, 20 hours, 21 minutes. Okay, and that's going to be at 20 degrees Cancer, which is actually conjunct my sun, just so you know. So this is going to be powerful. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. There's lots of things going on. I want to talk to everybody about it. This is the Rider-Waite, okay, that I'll be deliberating my findings from there, and I will be giving lunar guidance. So the High Priestess is the new moon in, you know, Scorpio typically, so somebody who understands the mystery, but it's the new moon in Scorpio on the 12th house. Now, it's actually calling, this is the native house, it's actually calling out the full moon, but the full moon is Pisces, so that's when the sun tends to descend, okay, into the 8th house, into the subconscious. That's what the moon does, especially for an eclipse. It's going to release things from the subconscious. It is going to be a manifestation, but on a spiritual level. So typically subconscious versus the solar eclipse is typically conscious, okay? Just explaining just a little bit briefly. So we are going to work this out. That's, I was just explaining for the students of the mysteries, those who are coming into their knowledge, you might be catching that. Yes, the High Priestess is a new moon, but we are calling out the full moon because it's coming from, okay, so we have it deeply vested here, and this was an organic pull. I didn't have to, you can just drop the stylus. I did not have to program the reading at all. It organically did it on its own. We're gonna have just a moment of a sound problem. It's gonna be a little bit wonky. Okay, so show must go on. All right, so just so you know, there's gonna be a few extended spreads here. So I'll mention at the end of the video where to go. Typically the link will be in the show notes if you want to skip through certain parts, but for those of you on other devices like a TV or a mobile phone or you're driving, I will also say the channel that you could go to just to get it. Everything will be free, the extended reading. It'll be on YouTube, so you don't have to click through to another site or anything like you will in the future. Okay, so for those of you interested in temple membership, for those of you interested in the username and password to the website, for those of you interested in moving further into the inner sanctum, just keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears open. Okay, so I'm going to do a basis on the energy. Okay, I'll also give a little bit of guidance. Okay, and then I'll do an extended reading on the particulars, the nitty gritty. We'll get down to the specific energies, okay, and that'll be the extended, okay? And then just as a treat, we're also gonna talk about, since it's an eclipse, what's being eclipsed out, eclipsed in, okay? What's happening bearing upon the physical? What are we getting over the next 6 months out of this eclipse, okay? And then again, there'll be another extended reading from that. So that'll be a separate video. So there's going to be 4 videos related to this eclipse event. We'll get into the nitty-gritty right now. So for those of you who don't know, a lunar eclipse is when something from the subconscious mind gets eclipsed out. So typically there's a point of ascension, there's a point of descension, there's a point of incarnation, there's a point of decarnation, desecration. Okay, not desecration, I really don't like that word, but decarnation, descension. Okay, so when you die, you divide, you split into 2. Your spiritual body divides from your physical body. And it just means that when you die here, you're born in another place, another realm. Okay, and that's what the process of death looks like. So death is transformation and reemergence, just so we know. This is going to be interesting because let's talk about the date. So the 10th of January, we have quite a few things going on. So the 10th of January, just for that specific energy, we do have the sun conjunct the moon, or opposing the moon, excuse me. We do have the sun opposing the moon, but we also have the sun conjunct Mercury. We have the sun conjunct Saturn, okay? We have the sun trining Neptune. We have the sun conjunct Pluto, okay? Mercury and Saturn are going to be aspecting each other too. It's a looser orbit, 3 degrees. And, you know, Pluto is a little bit further out, but it's in the same sign energy. And Jupiter had a conjunction a few days earlier on the 7th, and it started to dissipate, on the 3rd, and it started to dissipate on the 7th. So whenever the moon's there, either opposing or trining or conjuncting, it typically opens up the orb. It'll bring in the energy from a looser orb. So since it's a lunar event, we have a wider orb, especially for Jupiter. Jupiter Sun, Jupiter Moon, those are manifestations of cycles, manifestations of expansion. Now, sometimes an expansion could just be protection. Maybe karma's coming down, maybe there's a shift happening. And so if that energy is being lit up in an auspicious part of your chart, or these specific heavenly bodies, grahas I call them, forces that bear upon the physical, they grab, they seize, they force things to happen. I'm just going to call it as I see it. The powers that be are becoming the powers that were. Shout out to my friend Lisa, Sister Witch Lisa. She's the one who taught me that. The powers that be are becoming the powers that were. The PTB are now going to become the PTW. Hey, girl. So this is interesting to me because the subconscious expansion is somewhat going to be protection. The weak are going to be getting stronger, the strong are going to be getting humbled, and the tyrants are going to be getting humbled in shame and judgment and punishment. Okay, so let us begin. I just want to talk a little bit about the moon. Okay, this down here is the full moon, and it's in the judgment house, Il Justizio. So the judgment is about the 10th, 11th, and 12th house coming into the conscious. So typically it's always in the subconscious, and that's things that are on you, things that are behind you, things that you can sometimes feel, sometimes intuit subconsciously, but you can't always see, you can't always grasp, you can't always conceptualize. So this lunar event is actually tied into here, meaning there's going to be an aha, an awakening, and it will be political, it will be powerful, and in our personal lives, on an individual scale, on a community scale, it will be big or major. It just might be letting go, releasing, losing, okay? So why don't we go ahead in here and see what this is. So we're going to do what I call aerial command, where we take orders for a moment. So the moon here, this is about a new intuition, a new consciousness. It's going to be powerful. And the power is coming because there's some type of confrontation, culmination, completion on a global stage, number one. It's not just the surface of the planet. Literally, it's the heavens and the surface of the planet, and all of the beings living under the Godhead in creation. I'm just going to leave that be for the students of the mystery. the mystery school is still open. Open enrollment is still there. We don't quite have our 40 students. We have that, but we don't have it. If you subtract the auditors, we don't have it. Okay, so for those who really feel that it resonates, oracle@priestessgorgeous.org, check the link in the show notes. We don't have a working website, not one that is published. Okay, but please, if this is calling to you, you need to check in. This is the year where the trumpet does get sounded. And the prejudgment is happening right now, and we'll start to see the judgment come to the physical. But in the subconscious, since it's a lunar eclipse, the shift in consciousness is happening now. Most of us are starting to perceive the divine light. Most of us are starting to perceive the mysteries. And we're going to go ahead and really, really, really lean into our spiritual ascension and prepare ourselves for the actual trumpet and the actual ascending into the spiritual body over the next year. Now, I do feel like this is going to be leading up to the election. I know the election is nowhere near this eclipse. And eclipses on a lunar basis typically last for about 6 months. On a solar basis, they typically last for about a year. So it can be up to 18 months if it's in the same, if it really has a good aspect to the node. So for me, a good aspect to the node wouldn't be the degree or how close it is. It would be what other planets were in that event as well. So we have Jupiter. Jupiter expands, so it will grab anything close, anything in a auspicious angle aspect, okay? Yuti is the word that I'm hearing, which means yoked, okay? So are you yoked to the devil? Are you yoked to the spirits? Are you yoked to the flesh? Are you yoked to the heavens? Are you yoked to the past? Are you yoked to the future? Are you yoked to your lower self? Are you yoked to your higher self? What is yoked? Unified, in sync, in alignment. Okay, I'm hearing lockstep. Okay, so here we have this event. It's a moon event, a lunar event. And it's going to be calling out judgment. So there's going to be powerful visions, powerful mysteries that might be revealed, especially to those who are in alignment with the cycle. Okay, so it's interesting to me because this house is where Pluto lives, and this is Pluto. Okay, so the sun is conjunct Pluto. So that means the moon is opposing Pluto at the time of this event. A Pluto moon opposition, excuse me, I'm going to bump the mic a couple of times. We're on Ratchet Protocols. There's going to be some sound challenges momentarily. Thank you for bearing with us. You know, when the moon and Pluto are opposed, inner confrontations come to the forefront. Revelations about power struggles, power dynamics come to the forefront. They might come from the recesses of your mind. Your power in a situation may come to the forefront. A struggle that's been existing in your life may be reconciled or just perceived differently. You may learn the truth about what it is. Oftentimes fights either start or cease. Okay, now on a global scale, a generational scale, there will be a shift or revelation in power. So the secrets that are, especially in terms of how the world is run, will start to run out. It might run out immediately. We subconsciously may come to the recognition, but also the hidden power that exists over the next 6 months, it'll start to lose its grip. And then 6 months on from there, it'll manifest the result of the loss of grip, loss of power, loss of control. Okay, now the devil card, it stayed in its house, which is wonderful, but it does mean addicted to danger. It does also mean a very powerful earthly person. Typically they have a lot of consciousness, but it's of an instinctual nature. It's of an animalistic nature. It's not a higher ascended nature. What that's really good for is a one-track mind or going off the instinctual nature. And I do want to say it's aspecting this card here. That's the moon house, and it's aspecting this card here. So that's actually the Chariot, which is Cancer, which is driving things forward from other realms into the physical, arrivals, departures, triumph, victory, okay? Now, this lunar event, this inner battle coming to the forefront, this release culmination of a subconscious power dynamic is also our deepest need calling out. We've needed to be in alignment with what humanity authentically is. We've needed to be, I'm going to get a little clarification here. We've needed to be in alignment with what humanity truly is. We've needed to get, our deepest need has been calling out, and that's to be a fully vested human, fully in our body, fully in our consciousness, fully in our power, fully in alignment. So that's going to take us to this aspect of getting our lives together, acting a little bit out of character, but it's because we're aligning with our true self, which isn't always in alignment with the status quo. You know, it is knighting this Hierophant card. So that's spiritual law, spiritual teachings, religious teachers, okay, doctrinized teachings, those things of that nature, dogmatic even. We're going to be questioning our faith a little bit. I'll get to that in a moment. So our deepest needs calling out, we're actually putting our life together. And it's something that's happening very subtly. It may have been happening for a while, and now we're going to, over the next 6 months, come into the consciousness of that. Now, the reason being is because there's healing. Again, finding the real place, the right place in the world. Healing comes to the path. Healing comes to the guidance. Okay, illumination guidance comes to confrontations with the psyche, confrontations with the subconscious. Okay, confrontations come to power dynamics. Okay, aha moments. Okay, awakenings. Okay, so this healing is going to be about our skills, our talents, our abilities, our virtues, what is innately in us as humanity. I keep feeling Mercury energy. Okay, so again, the moon is going to be opposed Mercury because Mercury and the sun are conjunct at the time of this event. Okay, and it's a 1 degree orb, so it's close. Okay, so Mercury is about, on an etheric level, it's about the true archetype of humanity, the true way humanity would be if it wasn't, okay, gra, I'm hearing the word graha, so that's grasping, forcing, enacting things from the outside in, not from the inside out. So the true aspect of humanity at its highest potential would be, you know, universal oneness and the unconditional love vibration. Now, unconditional love and universal oneness doesn't mean we need to stand for toxicity, but you know, words don't do everything. It's energy, it's frequency, it's vibration. Okay, so the first language, it was light. Okay, so without a color, you have no sound. Without a sound, you have no letter. Okay, so that's what Mercury is talking about, and I'm getting to the esoteric of it. Okay, so please, again, understand that I am a teacher of the mysteries. We do have a mystery school in the temple, all right? And the mystery school is open to everybody, unlike the traditional mystery schools of Egypt, where only affluent people could get in. It's according to your own self-initiation, and once you reach a level, okay, you can enter in as a novice on a path with a specific teacher. Okay, again, we're having massive expansion, so we're wanting everybody to come in. And there is a sliding scale if need be, but you would need to book a consultation, which also is, we do have promotions for accessibility. All right, so this is about healing the self, healing the mind, healing the Atman. Now, not the primal soul that exists beyond creation, it's the self here, knowledge of the self, knowledge of the world, knowledge of your talents, your crafts, your ability, okay? Your soul, purpose, mission, karma, destiny, okay, is healing, okay? So we're gonna come into alignment with our authentic self, our true self, our beautiful self, okay? We're gonna begin to create, we're gonna begin to nurture that into the physical. Our spiritual self is gonna be understood here in the physical, because there's aspects of the self, there's aspects of our origin, there's aspects of the incarnation that have been long lost to us, long unknown to us, because of the conditioning and the programming of society, because of the dogma, because of the old paradigm. So whenever this is always gonna been happening, excuse me, English is leaving. This has been always in the stars, always gonna be happening. I forget the macro cycle, the progression of the equinoxes here, but around every time that Pluto and Capricorn get together, every time that Pluto comes into Capricorn, the earth shifts. The powers that be shift. Every time Pluto and Saturn get together, okay, there's a shake up in the foundation of the world. the controllers of the world always get shaken up. And it's often rumored that the Anunnaki, the Anu, A-N-U means king, okay, especially with Uranus and Taurus, okay? So just be mindful of that. Here we are, here it is. I believe the trumpet's being sounded this year. I believe the revelation, the reckoning is upon us. And for some of us, it will be destructive. You know, earthquake is as much as a physical thing as it is a spiritual thing. Your very core could be shaken, and the ground on which you stand could be shaken as well, especially with Mother Nature here in the first house. That's who we're communicating. That's the house of the magician. So what we're going to be manifesting, what we're going to be putting together, what we're going to be navigating, negotiating is our authentic self, our self-worth and value. Okay, it's warming up. So we may be pregnant. We may be ripe with abundance, okay? We may be feeling warm, loving, nurturing. We do have a creation on the way, and that would be our true self, again, our authentic self, because we are able to perceive the phenomenon of the universe. Now we have understandings on a subconscious level, at least, of the ancient mysteries, of the sacred teachings, and we know the difference between history, and mystery, the story of the mist, the story of the mysteries. Okay, so this is about illumination, enlightenment, especially in this house, the sun house. That's growth, expansion, vitality, renewal, okay, reinvigoration, okay. But it's also inner searching, inner knowledge, inner knowing. So this is your inner light when the hermit comes to the sun house. And now we have those religious teachings. So that is about spiritual beliefs, spiritual traditions, but also practice. Okay, and it can be about institutions, but it would be religious institutions, institutions of. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that dogmatic institutions are going to become institutions of light, or they're going to be torn down, shaken up. So I do want to say here in the chevron, I'm just going to change the color. Here in the chevron, we have the devil, but we also have God. So we have the devil and we have God. Let me change the color again. We have the devil and we have God in the chevron here. So this chevron talks about the line of incarnation. Well, it talks about the line of ascension and descension, and this is the line of incarnation, okay? And here's the higher world, and here's the lower world, and here's the spiritual world. Well, this is the spiritual world, but this is the heavenly, celestial world. So it's interesting that it starts out with the goddess of the heavens, and it ends with the Atman, that's the eternal spirit, okay? And then the primal soul is actually coming out, the true nature of God, which is creation, the true nature of God, which is universal oneness and unconditional love, is coming to the forefront. First, we're going to feel it in our subconscious arising, coming out, if that makes sense. Okay, so these spiritual teachings have to do with God, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. Right now, the God of the physical, whether or not you agree, whether or not you know, whether or not you understand. It's not G-O-D, it's not G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. It's not G-O-D, God, sovereign, free. It's not G-O-D, on earth as it is in heaven. There is an energy, an entity, a miasma, an enshrined spirit that is governing humanity, that is not in alignment with true, authentic, genuine creation. The real God of the material right now but it's gold, oil, and drugs, gold, oil, and death, gold, oil, and division, derision, destruction, degradation, division, okay? So we're going to begin to, through our own illumination, through our own enlightenment, come into awareness of God in the back of our minds, coming to the forefront, and then we'll begin to see after June in the physical it bear upon us, okay? Because we're under a control. This is the control house. The world is controlled through the astral. There's astral camps, astral mechanisms governing our institution. So the controllers of the earth are shifting. It's suspended animation. So understand that in the subconscious and the psyche, it will always progress, even in fear, even in those types of peril. Okay, it will always progress. But if in the physical, things are kind of a suspended animation, that means we're going to get a spiritual perspective. This hangman is going to come right side up, and he's going to see things for what they really are instead of for how they have been. But you're also going to figure out things for what they truly are instead of what you thought they were. So the hangman represents spiritual perspectives. Typically in the beginning, it's a surrender, it's a sacrifice, but it's never a no, it's a not now. So when the hangman comes to the Hierophant house, it talks about questioning your belief. Delays spiritual perspectives come to practice spiritual beliefs, faith. Okay, now what is your spiritual currency? This is your power. This is your earthly power. This is your spiritual power. Okay, what does that mean? Well, your spiritual power is faith, hope, optimism, belief, creativity, imagination. Your physical power is autonomy, franchise, and control. You have energetic self-mastery, hopefully, right? Meaning you're in control of your body. You're in control of your mind. Nobody else is. So these are things that are coming to the forefront from the subconscious. We've been conditioned and programmed to believe other things. So we were put into a corner, put into a box, put into a matrix, a frequency, energy, vibration that gave us an understanding where we were under a lord of some type. There was something that we were lower than, an entity, energy, frequency, vibration that we were lower than, lower under, okay? And now it's dissipating, or at least we're getting to a different spiritual consciousness, because as the ascension happens, as the awakening happens, as the revelation happens, yeah, for some of us, this is going to be earth-shattering, but for those of us that are at a specific frequency vibration, at a specific resonance, at a specific level of consciousness, it's not actually going to be that bad. It's not going to be that horrible. Okay, it'll just be, we'll have to emerge, ascend into our spiritual body. So in that sense, it's going to be good, but remember, we're going to have to come into the spiritual consciousness, the spiritual awakening of what the current control is. Okay, so the current controllers are trying to suspend, block out ascension. Okay, so when the death card comes to the world house, it means graduation, completion. If she were in her own house, it would talk about winning the game, winning. Okay, so we still win, because when you lose something but you gain yourself, you win. Again, when you lose something and you gain yourself, you win. So when the world card comes to the Emperor house, it means worldwide control, worldwide ascension, worldwide spiritual enlightenment. I was going to say ascension. So on a global level, and she's looking right there at the sun, growth, renewal, expansion, enlightenment, illumination from the inside out, especially with the Hermit in the sun house. Okay, so the death card here means completion. Transformation comes to ascension on a worldwide scale. In the death house, we have the soul group, people, places, and things, communities, people in your life, things that you're attracted to. And this also, this card, not this house, represents the heaven. The Lover's card represents as on earth as it is in heaven. I'm hearing that, give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So the general guidance for this year, you all, forgiveness. What is Jesus? Forgiveness. Okay, I'm on an iPad. It has a slant. I'm obsessive about my handwriting. My grandmother would kill me right now, but I'm using a stylus. Forgive me. Forgiveness. Yes, there is people who have wronged us. Okay, they've harmed us. Okay, but seek not vengeance. Forgive. Pray for your enemies. They have judgment on the way. Truly. Okay, oneness. So oneness is solidarity, but it's also understanding that there is a one, and all that is that we connect to. And over this is going to be 6 months of subconscious. I can spell, but I'm channeling. Both ears are vibrating, so I'm receiving and giving at the moment. And then remember, over the next 12 months, it'll step into the conscious. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So we should be stepping into the universal love vibration of the oneness, unconditional love. Okay. So remember, love is a binding, but it doesn't mean, and when it's universal, you're binding to God at that moment. So God is generator, operator, destroyer. It's the source that permeates, penetrates, perpetuates all existence because it's unborn, undying, unmanifest, unconditional, unfathomable. Okay. We cannot truly, oh, I need another color. We cannot truly understand God, but we can understand aspects of God. We can understand aspects of God as we anchor that into the physical. Oop. That's just ugly. I can't look at it. As we anchor that into the physical, we can become that self-knowledge, okay? So that's really, truly, genuinely where we're trying to go. We're trying to become our own wise counsel through soul's wisdom, soul's illumination, enlightenment, to be guided towards the path. So this universal love vibration, it's at the threshold. We're going to understand the spirit threshold. And when I see this, oftentimes it tells me, okay, when this person ascends or when the veil drops, this person's going to be in that 4D, 5D reality. So you have a fourth dimensional body and a fifth dimensional reality. The fourth dimensional body is your spiritual body, your astral body, your subtle body, your causal body. Okay. So really, if heaven's opening up, we'll be sitting at the throne of God, but understand that this is the left eye of God, and this is the right eye of God. And what's in between? God, Jesus. Jesus and God are both in these two cards. People want to argue. I don't really care. Okay. So it's interesting because this is about awakenings coming to the soul group. But if it's the soul of humanity, boom, dada, there you go. Because this is the throne of God when heaven opens up, and guess what's sitting on the throne is the judge. Not only that, sitting on the throne as the judge, and it's Ma'at, balance. So are you in alignment? This is your relationship with heaven. Number 11, even with L. 11, even with L. Okay, so do you have strength, courage, and wisdom? And then it knight's here, and then this knight's here. So are you even with L? Do you have self-worth and value? Do you have strength, courage, and wisdom? That makes you even with L. Okay, 11, alternating currents on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, one more time, 11, oops, 11, alternating currents on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, so the earthly chevron That made sense to me. Let me just make sure it makes sense to you. The earthly chevron says, okay, ascension's coming, and what's going to be eclipsed into the consciousness is going to be the current power dynamics. What's going to be eclipsed out of the consciousness is some type of movement from the spiritual into the physical. That's what I use the chariot for. And that's going to be the creation, God the creator, God the operator, God the destroyer. Okay, so God the creator is going to be eclipsed in. What's going to be eclipsed out is this worldwide control. There's going to be some ending to it. Okay, and the eclipse in is going to be the soul of humanity, the soul of creation, truly, is what I'm seeing there. Because this judge is going to bring in strength, courage, and wisdom. We're going to finally even tackle, get to the actual vibration, get to enough of us on a collective level are going to be at the vibration where the whole world can wake up instantaneously. It's like that, you know, an overnight success takes 10 years. So slowly but surely, since 2008, since 2012, we've been waking up, showing up, leveling up, getting to the right vibe, finding our place in the soul group, finding our tribe, becoming light workers, getting online, clearing up our energy body. We've been feeling the ears vibrating. We've been noticing auras. Our clair abilities are coming in clear, is what clair means. Claircognizance, clear knowing, clairvoyance, clear vision, clairaudience, clear smelling, clairsentience, clear sensing, feeling. Okay. Clairaudience, clear hearing, especially with the vibrating ears. That's usually the first, because that's an astral, that's a fourth dimensional talent. Clairvoyance is actually a fifth dimensional talent. You have to be able to look through the astral. So the first thing that usually wakes up is either clear vision or clear hearing. Okay, so enough of us have been waking up, aligning, ascending. So finally, because this is strength, courage, and wisdom comes to alignment, comes to being even with El, comes to, are you in the spiritual energy? Are you in the devil energy? Because look between her. She has on one side of the scale, the devil, and on the other side of the scale, the angel. Okay. You feel me? You feel me? But on another hand, it's this. You feel me? You feel me? So this alignment is about destiny, karma, time, coming to alignment. This is the mother of creation. This is the spirit of creation. So it's interesting then, because then this event comes through into the physical. So we're starting out with this movement forward. Let's go to this. We're starting out in this movement forward. Okay. This is about a new victory, a new triumph. It starts out in the chariot house. So boom, it's done. It's a wrap, period. It's one step. One step. Okay. So fortunately, I do have this other one here. Okay. So this movement forward, it starts out in the chariot house. And that means a new victory, a new triumph, a new unexpected victory. Suddenly, overnight, in a blink of an eye, most of us are going to wake up over the next 6 months sometime. And it's because there's some type of alignment, some type of movement through the cycle. The future comes into the present, the past gets destroyed, or the past gets set. So those that are under a certain frequency, energy vibration, are going to be stuck there. Okay, because now we're going to have passionate destiny, strong destiny, courageous destiny. Wheel of Fortune coming to the strength house. We're going to have a passion for rights, a passion for alignment, a passion for alignment, truth. This is a passionate truth teller. Okay, and then when we have the Justice card coming to the Tower house, it means the truth coming out irrevocably, undeniably. With the Justice card, with the Tower card, that's strict. There's no out of that. And sitting on the throne of God is the judge of souls. Let it be known. Okay, so we have breakdowns, upheavals, and soul groups in collectives of control. Secret societies, especially since it's so close to the chariot house. Okay, so stripped coming out, they're going to be cast out. I'm hearing the song, fire upon me, haters, fire upon me, haters, fire upon. Fire upon me, haters, fire upon me, haters, fire upon. So look at that, cast out, strict. It's a strict sentence. Okay. Strict sentence, strict sentence, strict, strict. Okay, I'll stop, but I'm hearing that, strict. Okay, so if demons, okay, this is hell. This is the tower house naturally. This is breaking out of hell. When you break out of hell, you end up here. The star house, well, the star takes us to our soul. Okay, and the soul takes us to this aha moment. And it's all happening with this lunar event. Fascinating, right? So breakdowns, upheavals in the soul group, because there'll be transitions, transformations, endings. In the soul group, it's aspecting the full cards of endings and new beginnings. In the soul group, because we'll be graduating, completing some type of worldwide ascension, breaking free from controllers. We're going to have an unexpected breaking free, because the Fool in the chariot house is an unexpected victory, sudden victory, sometimes unknown. Now we will know to a little bit, because this is the full house up here. To some degree, we have an awareness, but we'll see it either in the back of our mind in awakening, or we'll begin to see it play out in the lives of others, but still subconsciously, it'll be a recognition, an aha moment from the intuition. So if we're graduating, that's it. Some type of spiritual perspective, especially around dogmatic beliefs, religious teachings. We will be questioning faith. We will be questioning institutions. We will be questioning all the conditioning, all the programming. We feel the way we feel because of how we decide to think. Okay? So if our thoughts create our feelings, in order to change our thoughts, we have to look at our belief system. And if we can't change our belief system, we need to look at our conditioning and programming. Okay, oops. I can't spell right now, y'all shut up. I don't need to get corrected because I can spell when I'm not channeling. Okay, so this is our belief system right here. We're questioning our faith. All the conditioning and programming over our lifetime, over our parents' lifetime, over the generational, over the last 13 generations, over the last 1,300 years, over the last 2,000 years, 2,600 years, it's all breaking down now. Every time Pluto comes to Capricorn, there's a breakdown in the control structure. This is the beginning of such. Okay, on a subconscious level, they're losing their control. And within the next 6 months, it'll pop up in the physical, because enough of us will have what's called the tipping point. This begins that 10 years of work, proverbial bunny ears, air quotes here, that becomes the overnight success. So whatever happens over the next 6 months, closer to the election, will be what gets revealed on a global stage. Okay, so remember, I'm going to be doing a nitty-gritty analysis. Okay, that'll be extended reading. So what you're going to want to do for this extended reading is you're going to want to look up Priestess Gorgeous on YouTube, and it'll be on that channel, or you can click the link in the show notes. Again, the mystery school is still opening. The flash sales have turned around. Okay, so now we're doing the 1111 Divine Lovers series. Okay, so there's no longer a sole purpose special for the spiritual wellness evaluation or primal soul assessment. But if you book that full priced reading, you'll get a massive discount for the mystery school. And if you want to do a flash sale, it'll come to the Divine Partnership assessments. Okay, there's two different kinds. There's a micro one and a macro one, a larger one. So there's a quick Divine Partnership assessment, or there's the Divine Lovers Council. We can talk back and forth. Okay, the flash sales only come as a video. You do not get a live appointment. Okay, but you can still ask your questions. The email address is oracle@priestessgorgeous.org. Ensure that if you pay for a reading, flash sale or otherwise, and you email your questions, it's the same email address that booked the reading. Okay, so again, I'm just going to itemize this right now. There's a flash sale going on, and there's the mystery school. Mystery school is still open. Wait, did I spell that right? Who the hell knows? See, to me, school is this. So we'll just leave that there. So the flash sale is now the 1111. Okay. So I love myself too. Okay, love myself too. And the other one's I love myself too. So check the link in the show notes to confirm that, or go to Priestess Gorgeous and watch that video, and I'll make sure that I'm giving you the right coupon code. Now, the offer right now is no more sole purpose special. What does that mean? Well, if you want to go to the mystery school and you need a discount, what you'll need to do, because it's usually $324. You need to do the primal soul assessment plus your first year's tuition. Okay, your first semester tuition. So typically that comes out to $342. You can get in for like $202 if you want. I don't know, want a quota price. I'm typically doing $262. You could do even, free. You really it needs to be seen in a primal soul assessment or a spiritual wellness evaluation. So you'll need to book the full session. That discounts over. The code doesn't work. However, if in the session it comes up that you're a candidate for the mystery school, you'll be placed properly in the mystery school, and we can do an accessibility discount at that time. That's the way the negotiation works. The current flash sale until further notice, which doesn't mean it negates flash sale, because flash sales come and go without warning. Okay, so the current flash sale, bunny ears, air quotes, until further notice, is for the 1111 Divine Lovers series. Those who are healing from people, places, and things. Those who are having crash downs, knockout, breakdowns. You have the Tower card in the Lover's house and the Lovers in the Death house. Upheavals, collapses in the soul group. Upheavals, collapses in love partnerships. Transformations, endings in love partnerships. Global ascension. Okay, so there I'll be giving a discount. I think it's about 64% off. One of them is 54% off, the other is 64% off, okay? So there's a micro one and a larger one. There's a 30-minute one and a 45-minute one. The 45-minute one usually has counsel, but you can ask questions in those. The 30-minute one is a blind reading. You can offer chart information, things of that nature, but the questions don't always get read until afterwards, and that typically is if there's more work to do. Okay, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. The contact information is oracle@priestessgorgeous.org. Remember, there will be an extended reading. We'll go into some of the deeper nitty-gritties of this. And remember, there is another video coming out about what's happening in the patriarchy, what the breakdown looks like, what the breakdown in the current control paradigm looks like, and we'll be consulting the controller himself. okay? And it's a spiritual workaround. The devil did not want us to see that. Look, it goes like this. It's a loop. Okay, so that's funny. I can see the devil working hard to keep this under wraps and not one happen and need one happen. Okay, so go ahead and go over to Priestess Gorgeous YouTube channel. It's the Gorgeous Mystery School of Sacred Arts and Devotional Practices. Okay, and in depth, we'll talk about what's going on with the cycle, how is it going, who's it hitting, how's that going to be manifesting, what the experience will look like, how to know that it's happening to you, how to recognize it, what are some of the remedies, the tricks, techniques, technologies around the tools you could be using to make sure you're on the higher vibration, the higher path, the more ascended path of this revelation, of this awakening, of this epiphany, of this rapture. Okay, again, a solar eclipse is when something gets eclipsed or manifest in the physical, and a lunar eclipse is when something happens on the subconscious, on the spiritual. Okay, again, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous, also known as Ablossi Baba, and this is Vertex of Abundance Galactic Temple of Ascension. All right, again, oracle at priestessgorgeous.org, and again, priestessgorgeous.org YouTube channel. Okay, or you can check the link in the show notes. Take good care. Bye-bye.